charging, if this material resonates with you, bingo, press the go button and get there. So this is called Messages from the Body. Their psychological meaning, but it also, as you go into it, it has to do with the spiritual meaning. Now, I'm going to speak that again more slowly, just because I had a flashback into one of my dear listeners last week said, Elaine, were you on speed? You went so fast. Remember, I'm one of 5 kids. We all had to vie for getting our message out there. So here it is, Messages from the Body, their psychological meaning. That's the subtitle. And it's by a gentleman called Michael J. for Julia Lincoln, as in Abe Lincoln. Michael J. Lincoln. He's done such a profound job with this. And I've used this book now for almost 10 years. I don't pull it out often, but someone had a physical question yesterday, and I thought, I got to go right to the book and look it up. The question was, their child, well, it's not a child, he's now in his 30s, suddenly developed tremors. And as any good mommy, she was concerned. And so I went to this book. Now, here's the deal, and here's how I've used it in the past. Generally, my intuition picks up almost immediately, because he gives 3 or 4 meanings, psychological and spiritual meanings for the condition. And generally, my spirit picks up what the other spirit is, where the glitch is, what's hanging them up. And once you read the words out loud to them with unconditional love, acceptance of where they are, allowance of where they are, dang it, the whole thing begins to shift. And it's much easier for them, the person, to regain their balance point, their equilibrium. It's been remarkable to watch. And some of the things, our stuff is it's painful, number one. But for many of us, it really is mentally painful. How did I get this? It's almost a sense of defeat. And what did I do? So here's what this information is about a tremor. It starts off with a little quotation mark, cosmic paranoia, end of quotation mark. You have an intensely anxious relationship with the universe that is full of fear, uncertainty, and insecurity. Some which way you've ended up feeling stagnant and immobilized, and have little faith in the universe and life, and you're feeling alone and unsafe in an uncaring world. Well, the person I was telling this to, I could hear her gasping because she understood. Yes, this young man is going through this. The job is uncertain. Girlfriends are uncertain. Where is he going to live? Uncertain. And then so I said, well, let me go on here. Maybe the second one resonates as well. I don't dare let go. End of quotation mark. There is an overwhelming desire to control everything and everyone about every aspect of every issue, situation, and undertaking. You have a complete conviction that all hell will break loose and that everything will go down the tubes unless you personally, hands-on, determine the purpose, process, and outcome of everything. And it even goes on to say you were the sane one in an out-of-control, self-defeating, ungrounded, and potentially self-destructive family. Without your intervention, things would have gone over the edge into catastrophic disaster. Now, I know the family well. I've known them for years. I know all the players. When I read that second one, the mother of this young man, She couldn't even breathe. She was like, oh my God, what's happened here? And I've said, now you understand why I am consistently harping, just do you. Do you. Pay attention to everything about you. What are you thinking? What are you saying? What are you doing? Be mindful. Be present. I guarantee you will speak less. You'll run around doing less. And it's very humbling. But in this humility is where all healing lies. It's right there. You know, another one of my gals that called in today, I've had the great honor of mentoring her for, the last year. And it's been an honor because the honor has been to see how much she could allow the process to happen and my participation in it. And for the last couple of weeks, I didn't say anything, but I could hear her kind of this deep chest cough. Well, today the call is she took herself to the walk-in clinic and they can't find anything, but she thinks it's this and that. And okay. And so, and yet she's calling me on her drive into work. Now, I can, as an empath, I'm feeling like totally exhausted hearing her. It's like the life is being sucked out of me. And okay, she's driving, she gets to work. Now, I know where she works. And I'm thinking, surely she's going to take the elevator because there's not an ounce of life force in her. And she's not saying a thing. I can hear her get out of the car. I'm energetically walking along with her. And then I'm hearing, and I'm like, you didn't just walk up those stairs, did you? Yes, I did. I'm like, you're kidding. I said, your lungs are compromised. The healing chi that you need for your lungs can't get there. And P.S., I had just given her about a 5-minute sermonette about how important it was for her to honor her body. It's her best friend. She needs to take care of it. She's got to be more mindful. She's got to rest. I'm on my little, with the violin, giving her all that. She couldn't hear one word of it. She couldn't connect the dots until I finally grabbed her, if you will, by the scruff of her neck. What are you doing? How are you going to get well here? So it's very interesting. So I'm going to, here again, I'm going to say, now if some of you want to call in, whether it be for yourself or a loved one, with a condition, okay? It's 321-806-3159, and I'll just flip open the book and give you a little bit of insight that perhaps could help, not only if it's yourself or if it's someone you would like a broader perspective about, okay? So I'm going to look at, I think I'll just open here to, I remember my Miss Linda took a fall. Let me see if I can find anything about a fall. Oh, yep, falls. In quotation marks, banana peels. They are manifesting feelings of being betrayed, let down, and undermined with the associated experiences of loss of standing, humiliation, and hurt pride. And this too, of course, the pattern, all of our patterns basically have been started within the family nucleus. I mean, I've not seen one pattern that wasn't started somewhere in that little womb of family. So, okay, so now let me see. And let me open to, all right, I'm looking at the clock. I got 10 minutes to go. I'm going to open to page 10. How's that grab you? And we'll see who needs something from page 10. What the heck is there? all kinds of difficulties suppress the immune system by generating and maintaining negative self-reactions and beliefs about your position or situation in the world. The mental thoughts and emotional patterns that most often predict disease and disorder in the body are criticism, anger, resentment, guilt, shame, grief, and fear. I'm going to tell you that again. The mental thoughts and emotional patterns that most often precipitate disease and disorder in your body are criticism, anger, resentment, guilt, shame, grief, and fear. So yikes is all I can tell you about that. It's very fast. I have to tell you, it's a really fascinating book, and I think I should look at it even more. At one point, I was very, very interested in looking at the numerology of each particular word. Like now I've opened to page 37, and we've got abscesses, accident. And so I took those two words and actually, years ago, did the numerology on it. And, I know a dear friend of mine's actually got somebody close to her that has an abscess. And as a matter of fact, I had an abscess a couple of times around Christmas time. Man, are they ever painful. They are something. I think I should have opened the book. I don't know why I didn't. Sometimes you just get going on another stream of consciousness. But here's an abscess. Seething volcano. And I got to tell you, when I had my abscess, yep, I was a volcano. I was seething. There were lots of hurts that I had stuffed down. So it says, with an abscess, you are struggling with a smoldering resentment and anger that has been fermenting to a point where the situation is one where they have become irritated and inflamed to the point of an upheaval. There is a feeling of restriction and over-responsibility and deprivation. Deprivation's an interesting word. When I look, we deprive each other of a hug, of a, how are you doing today? With real sincerity, not that cursory, hi, how are you? Which is like, ugh, that phrase makes me crazy. But with real intent and meaningfulness and love behind it. So inadvertently, we deprive one another. This person with an abscess is experiencing conflict and irritability and frustration and a rejection of the situation. So by the time, when the resulting eruption finally occurs, it leaves them empty and exhausted, having finally blown itself out, thereby clearing the way for constructive alternatives to be formed to meet the needs of the situation. So, very interesting. And incidentally, the numerology on it is the number 20. And the number 20 is really connected with kindness and helpfulness and cooperation and that sense of giving one to the other. So I should really take the time. This book is how many? 600 something pages. 691 or thereabouts. I think that's why I stopped doing the numerology. I'm like, this would take me countless years. But the next one I did was accident. An accident boils down to the number 8. Well, in my vocabulary, there are no victims. Victimhood is not on the table in my understanding, and nor is accident. There is no such thing. And the number 8